Hey, what's up everybody? Rollshambo here. If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Today, I am going to compare the AD20.5 with the Spyderco Para 3. Now, if you've watched my most popular video on my channel so far, you might have seen this very same Para 3, but with these scales. Because I wanted to do a comparison, a head-to-head if you will, I decided that there's no way that people could look at this objectively with me as long as I had these custom engraved titanium scales on this guy. I don't want to skew the results. I want to give my honest opinion. My honest opinion. Now, I already made a video of before you buy the AD20.5, and if you haven't seen that, go ahead, check out in the corner. Watch it. You can pause this, watch that, come back. Now, I haven't been doing the whole knife YouTube thing for very long. So it turns out that both my 3 reasons why you should buy the Spyderco Para 3 and watch before you buy the AD20.5 turn out to be my 2 most popular and most commented on videos. And that's amazing. It's amazing because I thought that I was going to struggle getting people to interact with me. I thought that this niche was, honestly, could be a waste of time because there's so many other knife reviewers out there that do this over-the-top hands model view. By the way, I know I'm not a hands model. I'm not. But there's only one way that I could evenly compare these. That's by taking this back to the stock format so that you could see a head-to-head, the way that they're bought from the factory. So, what do we have here? Well, we have 2 knives that are very similar in their dimensions. Here's what I mean. First thing I want to point out, they both lose points for these pocket clips, which while they're serviceable, they both leave a lot to be desired, and they both made the same mistake. And I wonder if the Demko AD20.5 did this on purpose. But for one, look at these pocket clips, and 2, look at these lanyard holes. If they had not done a lanyard hole, they could have moved that pocket clip up and done a deeper carry. Maybe not a super deep carry, but they could have done a deeper carry. That would have helped with the ergos. But no, we had to go ahead and sacrifice ergos and a better pocket clip position for the sake of a lanyard tube, which you could put in the form of a spacer on the back. Everyone could have had what they wanted. People that wanted lanyards could have a lanyard. People that didn't, they wouldn't have to look at this too. So they both lose points for not only their clips, which are subpar, or just par rather, but also the fact that they sacrificed ergonomics and common sense for the sake of putting lanyard holes right there. So they both get an F for that. I'm not gonna pull any punches just because I like. Well, I definitely really like this knife, and I'm kind of mad about this knife because I should like it a lot more than I do. Next, the Spyderco Para 3 is just over 7¼ inches, while the Demko AD20.5 is just over 7½ inches, very similar in length. The Para 3 weighs just shy of 3½ ounces, while this weighs just over 3½ ounces. This one is made in Taiwan. This one's made in Golden, Colorado. American made in Taiwan, but Taiwanese knives are actually usually pretty well made. I'll say that. I'm not one of those guys like, oh my gosh, it's got to be made here in the US of A, or you're a communist. Nope, that's not me. Handle scale materials. They both use composite materials. This one is Grivery, and the Para 3 is G10. Now, feel free to do your own research. G10 is a lot sturdier and holds up to a lot more heat and extreme temperatures. It's not going to let you down. They both have one-handed operating locks that are highly fidgetable. And let's be honest, most of us do fidget with our knives. They both have thumb holes. This one is actually like a circle. That's an oval. Potato, tomato, thumb holes. Now, that's where our similarities end, okay? First and foremost, this is AS10A. This is S45VN. This is Grivery, this is G10. Higher quality, higher quality. No one's going to argue that AS10A is a better steel than S45VN. Not when you're talking about a folding knife. Maybe I'd want more toughness on a fixed blade, but we're talking folding knives. Okay, we're not using this to pry up railroad tracks, all right? Or if you do, rest in peace. You know, you're going to be buying another $150 Demko. They both cost about $150. Now, in one of my videos where I decried the 80-20.5, I said that for $150, we were buying a template of a knife. I want to expand on that, okay? It's not that I don't like this knife. I think the Shark Lock is phenomenal. It's a very good locking mechanism, one of the best that you can get. I am not arguing that. But for $150, we should be able to get G10. I don't have a problem with AS10A. I have other knives that are VG10, almost the exact same composition. I have a problem with it for $150. I can live with the pocket clip or I can replace it. Whatever, that's not a deal breaker for me. And people told me, well, now you can get one in CPM 3V. Okay, does it cost $150? Spoiler alert, it does not. It costs like $190, and they're also selling out. S45VN steel, still way better, still $150. And then they told me, well, you know, you can get aluminum handle scales if you don't like the Grivery for like $40 to $60. Okay, so now you're back up to $190 to $200. G10, all we really needed, $150. And then they said, well, you know, you can get a reblade from Transparent Knives. I know that those tend to run I would say about $250 to $300. So then you're spending what? $150 plus, let's estimate $300. So you're at $450 for a template of a knife. Even more if you were to replace those handle scales with titanium, which costs between $80 to $100, or aluminum, which costs between $40 to $60. So let's go on the low end. Let's say that you go with the aluminum, and then you also replace the pocket clip because we all know that's garbage. So pocket clip, 20 to $25. Let's call it 20. Aluminum handle scales, let's call it 40. So now we're at 60. Reblade, to get a better blade, let's call that 300. So now we're at 360 plus the 150 it cost originally. And the only thing that you're keeping is this Shark Lock. You've spent over $500 and you're now in the realm of a regular Demko 80-20. Now, something that I want to point out is, yes, I did get new scales for my Para 3. Yes, I did get a new pocket clip. Yes, I added things on there like a karambit backspacer ring. And yes, that costs about the same as what we're talking about once we modify this. But the difference is that this isn't the little brother of another version. I mean, the closest thing you could say would be a Paramilitary 2, but they are different models completely. Whereas this is just a shrunken version of the Andrew Demko 80-20. So I created a modified, customized version of this because I wanted to make it as best as it could be, because I couldn't just go out there and spend the same amount and get what I actually wanted. I had to build it. So the one argument that I could see would be, well, even if I wanted to buy an 80-20.5 or an 80-20, they're really hard to find in stock. They're extremely popular and they're never in stock. So yeah, I can see that point, and I think that that's something that you should consider when you consider modifying this knife or buying an 80-20. The 80-20 is really hard to find in stock, and when they do come in stock, they sell extremely quickly. But guys, Don't tell me that you can compare this knife to this knife for $150 because of all the extra things that you have to add to this one. Because I'll tell you what, if I didn't have these handle scales, if I didn't have this pocket clip, if I didn't have this karambit ring, this would still be a knife that's worth the $150. If there's no modifications out there, I can't say the same for this one. So, please, don't take this as me telling you that you made a mistake by buying this. If you have this knife and you like this knife, good. That's the most important thing. This is just my opinion. I wanted to do a straight up head-to-head and talk about not only how similar they were, but how vastly different they were once we get down to quality. Oh, and by the way, I didn't even mention the fact that this came hair-splitting sharp from Spyderco, and this one I had to immediately resharpen to even out the bevel because it was sharp like a butter knife. I didn't even bring that up. Someone actually did a good job of pointing out that I could have just gotten a bad sample. But the shark lock worked good. And that's what really matters when you buy this knife, right? Again, I'm not saying don't buy the AD20.5. I'm saying if you buy this, understand that to make this the knife it should have been in the first place, you are probably going to be spending at least another $150 to make it right. That's all I've got for you guys today. Oh, and if you do want to check out my disassembly and breakdown video of the Spyderco Para 3, showing me taking off these scales and all my other modifications, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, and hit that video over there. I'll see you in the next one.